the president has released this statement on Facebook. Why won't Governor Brian Kemp, the hapless governor of Georgia, use his emergency powers, which can be easily done, to overrule his obstinate Secretary of State and do a match of signatures on envelopes? It will be a gold mine of fraud, and we will easily win the state. Also, quickly check the number of envelopes versus the number of ballots. You may just find that there are many more ballots than there are envelopes. So simple and so easy to do. Georgia Republicans are angry. All Republicans are angry. Get it done. The governor of Georgia literally can do nothing. He has no constitutional power to do anything, and no executive order can overrule the Secretary of State, who is himself a constitutionally elected officer in the state of Georgia. And I assume that people in Georgia know this. It's the hucksters and charlatans and grifters out of the state who are coming in who don't know this. They actually attacked Doug Collins over the weekend. Doug Collins campaigned with Kelly Loeffler, did several events with her up in North Georgia, and Doug Collins is now being attacked as being in on the steal because he campaigned with Kelly Loeffler. There were some people who were at Lynn Wood is one of the ones who claimed that Doug Collins actually won the race. But then there are other people out there now attacking Doug Collins, saying that he's in on the steal by campaigning with Kelly Loeffler. The whole thing is nuts. I mean, there is no way you're asking someone to prove a negative. I want you to prove to me the earth doesn't go around the sun. I mean, that's essentially, I want you to prove to me that the election wasn't stolen. Well, you know, the Secretary of State says it wasn't stolen. The GBI says there's no evidence. Local boards of elections say there's no evidence. The governor stands by it. And so you want me to prove the election wasn't stolen? No, you prove to me the election was stolen. And all the evidence they have so far is not evidence at all. It's conjecture and speculation. You know, so the Kraken lawsuit was finally filed. Sidney Powell filed the lawsuit. She included Jason Shepard, the chairman of the Cobb County Republicans, as a plaintiff in the lawsuit. There's just a problem. He never was supposed to be. He didn't want to be. He didn't ask to be. And he did not want to be a party to the lawsuit. And they put him in anyway. He doesn't even stand by all the claims of the lawsuit. I mean, and some of the stuff is just bat poop crazy. You know, here's how you can tell the hucksters, the grifters, and the fraudulent con artists out there. They're trying to push this theory that the Dominion voting system machines in Georgia stole the vote for Joe Biden. Well, if you're not from Georgia, I guess you can believe that. But if you're from Georgia, you voted on those machines, and you know that you get a printout of your ballot with a little QR code, and you pass that ballot through a scanner, and that's what counts the vote. It's not the machine that you enter the vote on that counts it. It's when you pass it into the scanner. It scans the QR code, and you can see everyone you voted for. So for them to believe, for people out of the state to claim that there was fraud, they've got to ignore the fact that when you get your ballot out of the machine, you see who you voted for. And we've now hand counted all of those ballots, and they align perfectly to the machine. So how was the machine stealing the election in Georgia when you yourself got a printed ballot that listed who you voted for, and you passed that into the machine, and they've hand counted that piece of paper that you yourself got to see to make sure your vote was counted, and it matches perfectly with the machine? There's no way anyone in Georgia can believe this stuff, and yet you've got people who will, because they're in a cult of personality, and they're not actually living in reality. The whole thing is absurd.